My name's Ryan, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at one of the modules that I've done in my final year at university. So this is client-side web scripting. Well, this module was called client-side web scripting, sorry. And the whole purpose of it was to create some type of multi-user feature on on a website, basically. So there's many different ways that I could have approached this. And definitely a lot more that I could have done within this project to sort of increase the sort of the pipeline development sort of thing. So like I could have created a Jenkins server, but with the hosting that I was using, as we can see here, I'm using Heroku. It sort of had its own Jenkins server type thing, although it doesn't really check much apart from that it works. It doesn't crash when it runs. So yeah, what I've basically done, if we open it up, hopefully it loads quite quickly. This is a free hosting service, so like the load times might vary depending on how much the server's being used at any one time. So we can see here I've got it instantly into a username and password scenario. So I can either log in or sign up. I didn't really focus too much on the aesthetics of this website due to there being no marks for the aesthetics at all. So this was all purely developed for features and mechanics within um, in the website itself. So I can make a new user here at the moment. Just call it. I think I've already used test, so um, just going to use Jim. We'll use Jim, and then I can obviously pop in my password, and I can sign up. So now I've signed up, and I can immediately log in with this user. So if I quickly open up another one, so we could show you what happens when you don't have the correct username and password. So we can do ABC and we can try and log in. Sign in is unsuccessful. So the way I've used what I've used to do this is I've used a database on MLabs, which would be very useful if I had this open already to show you. Quickly go on this. Hopefully I'm already signed in. I'm not, and I clicked sign up. That will be good. There we go. And MLabs uses, I believe you can use many different types of databases, but I've used MongoDB in this because the actual coding is using Node.js, as it's just one of the more open platforms to use really, and one of the ones I have any sort of relevant experience to use since it's so easy to use. So we can see here we've got one database. It's got two collections, and these are for the users and for the leaderboards. So as soon as you make a user, it sets up an entry into the leaderboard for that user. And we can go into the users here and quickly take a look to make sure that our user did get passed in here. It should be at the bottom. So yeah, we've got Jim and Pass, and we've also got some other ones that I created in the past there. Using Pass as the password for all of these. I think this was another user um, when I obviously got people to test it for me, um, and they've obviously input whatever they wanted. So that's basically the database. This is all set up in the code itself. Um, and I'm on the wrong thing. There we go. So if we just log in on this one as well. I don't think that's. I think it needs to be capital and correct password so I can log in. So I'm logged in at the moment, and this is obviously supposed to be multiplayer. So there's has to be some sort of multi-user feature, and for this obviously it's a game, so it'll be multiplayer. Um, and we can see here I just changed the map I was on because there's two different maps you can be on. Um, and so yeah, we can see the other player here. Obviously, it's me, but I can't really show you someone else playing on it because there's not much used game. No one really knows about it. Um, apart from a few people that I got to test it, obviously. So I can obviously shoot at them and deal damage. Obviously, I can press a different button and shoot 3 bullets at a time, although I've got a much longer recharge on that before I'm able to shoot again. And so I can just go ahead and kill this person here. So I've just got 10 points for that, which is a nice thing to sort of get people to try and accomplish something within the game. I'm just going to quickly go over to this one so we can show you the leaderboard. So this is obviously all the leaderboard entries. If I went back over to MLab and showed you the entries in there, it would be exactly the same as what we've basically just seen, just with a few more information bits like the keys and stuff. So we can see obviously Ryan with 40s at the top, Bob with 40s at the top. These aren't listed correctly here because I haven't sorted it out properly, but there was no real need to do that because as I go back into the actual game itself, I've already got it sorted, so it's okay. And we can see obviously Jim has got 0 points. He just died on this one here. No, he died on this one. Sorry, he has 0 points. He died, or that might be this one. That's Jim. This one is Jim. Yep, sorry. But he hasn't died yet, so his score hasn't been put into the leaderboard. So if we quickly respawn, if we click try again and try and find Jim, we can kill him. And now Jim should have 10 points, which Jim does have 10 points. So everything seems to be working, which is great. nothing worse than shooting a video and it not working. So quickly let this dude respawn, and we've got a chat box here. So there's some information here, you know, WASD to move and mouse to aim, so we can move the mouse anywhere to sort of aim and shoot. Mouse click to shoot, spacebar to shoot 3 bullets. Some informational stuff there, so players can jump straight in. And if I'd like to private message someone, I can use @username :message. To message them. So I'm just going to open a third entry so that we can see that these private messages are working correctly. So here we are. I don't believe it matters which map we're on for the well, it definitely shouldn't, at least, the way I've coded it, which map he's on. But so we'll quickly do Jim. Hello. So I've sent to Jim hello, and if we go over to Jim, it says from Ryan hello, which is a nice handy feature if you wanted to message someone. And I can obviously say hello without messaging anyone. So if we go over to the test, we can see that there isn't a private message on this test one, but we've got the public message. So there's definitely you know, that functionality there is definitely working, and you know, I could still shoot this person while I shoot this person as well, and obviously these people would be able to move at the same time, but that's not something I can do right now, obviously on one computer. Right, other features, we've obviously got the map itself changing to the other map. I can't see the other users now, I can't interact with the other users, I can't do anything with them other than typing something down there. There's also colliders here, so I can't get outside of the map. A quick note: these lines here were supposed to be a feature that I didn't have time to implement. So obviously, if you were outside of the blue zone, you would take damage slowly over time. So because this is a more safe area around these boxes that were supposed to have colliders, but don't have colliders obviously at the moment. Something else that wasn't implemented in time. If you were inside the blue area, which is slightly less safe than the red area, then you're going to take no damage over that time, like you would in the red area. And if you're inside the green area, where you're supposed to be trapped, obviously there's no colliders, but you would gain health slowly over time, which is a nice, obviously, gameplay mechanic to sort of make people put themselves into a risk-reward type of situation. Unfortunately, obviously, that didn't come to fruition. I didn't get time to do that. Another little thing, you just saw a health pickup there. so I can quickly pick up that health, so I'm really low on health. I do believe there's another pickup, a score pickup, that isn't working. It's coded exactly the same way as the health pickup was, and I even showed my lecturer. He had absolutely no idea what was going on there. It was likely just some sort of online multiplayer sort of functionality that just wasn't working because of the multiplayer just having its own way of doing things, really. Sometimes things work, sometimes things just don't work, and that's just the way it is. Obviously, I just picked up a health pickup there. It wasn't missing any health, but just to show that it actually does disappear. And overall, I think that's actually most of the functionality. Um, I'm not sure there's really anything else to show. Which is, it took quite a while to actually do this. It's, learning all of the Node.js stuff. So I've only ever used Phaser other than just standard JavaScript, um, and my interaction with Phaser wasn't a very good interaction, I wouldn't say. So that's why I didn't choose Phaser. But learning Node.js through the lectures that we had, it seemed like the most appropriate for this project. There was obviously a lot more stuff I wanted to include in this project, and a lot of stuff that didn't get done. Although I think the stuff that is there works fine, and is by all means a small interactive game that can be played on with a friend, or that hasn't got it's not one of those great games that people are going to talk about. It's more the experience of learning how to create my first multiplayer game, and that was really a good experience to learn from. I'm just wondering if I've got the code up. I don't believe I do. That's definitely not the correct code. Wondering if it might be an Atom. Is it an Atom? Hopefully it's already up here so I can quickly show you. I should have got this up beforehand. And this is not Atom. It is Atom, it's not the correct project I wanted. Oh. Oh dear. I was sure I used Atom for the... Oh well, that's neither here nor there. I was going to quickly show some of the code, but using like the socket.emits and stuff like that. But I'm sure most people who would be watching this video know all about that, and there's not really much point delving into that. But yeah, this was a fun little project. I enjoyed doing it. Definitely a lot of learning curves, making my first database, or online database at least, properly. And getting all of the elements to interact so that you can bring down the leaderboard from the database and then put it back up with any um, new scores that might be there and what have you. Another interesting thing actually that I didn't show. So this is Jim and he's got 10 points. If I quickly get 20 points. Just have to find people again. Here we go. Here's someone. We'll kill him. Just need to get another kill. It might have been worth putting the movement speed up for this video. Where's he gone? He hasn't respawned yet. That'll be why. Right. Here he is. So go over here. Kill him again. Right, there we go. So now, if I if I hit, if I just close this window and then try again, and I'll have to change the map to go onto the other map that the other player was on. This is a very long and convoluted way of doing this, but there we go. And if I go over to here, Jim should have 20 points. I see what's occurring here. That's something I haven't done. But we can, we can see on the new list, I haven't removed the element from the first list. I actually hadn't noticed that I'd done that. But yeah, Jim has 20 points now. So what happened? Jim got 20 points. He left the session without dying. He could have disconnected from the internet. He could have shut down his computer. He could have just accidentally closed the tab. But those points that he scored have been saved, and he's been removed from the game. You wouldn't be able to actually see him there, which is some thoughtful functionality there. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I've had it in the past where I'm trying to get some sort of high score on a game, and something has happened, and I've been disconnected from the internet or something like that. Maybe not a leaderboard, but some sort of meaningful progression, and wanting to have some of it sort of saved. That's definitely some sort of thoughtful development there, which is a nice little feature. But I think that pretty much wraps up all of the mechanics within the game itself. And like I said, this was a very fun project to do, and I learned a lot from it. Things that could have been done better. Obviously, the aesthetics. The aesthetics were the bare minimal there, and there were a lot of more features that I wanted to include that could have been included. Obviously, developed. That maybe that might be developed in the future. But taken away from this project, obviously I now know how to set up my own databases for free as well, although that's obviously not suitable for professional projects. That's something I can do in my own time and use, and setting up my own free hosting service, my own free hoster. It's I now do that now, so creating a project like this in the future would go a lot smoother, and I'd have a lot more time for development basically, now that I know the processes of it. So yeah, it was a really good module, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much.